All right, so for today's lesson, I just want to talk to you a little bit about some different slides and play some different ones for you so that you can hear the sound difference. And I also want to talk about, picking a slide that would be best for you. So as I've mentioned before, slides come in different flavors. You have this one is actually made of a pipe. It's cut from a pipe. Whereas, and that one is made of, I believe, like an iron ore. It's a much heavier type of slide as opposed to steel and glass. Brass is a very popular slide. Now, in regards to size, let's talk about size first. You don't want a slide that fits too loosely. Okay. So this slide for me tends to be pretty cool because I can move around in it just a little bit, but it's not so loose that I don't have control of the slide. Meaning if your finger's really jostling around in there, you're not going to be able to have the control of this slide like you want. This has a lot to do with personal preference, but if you were to, say, go to your local guitar shop and just get out all the slides, ask them to show you all their slides and try different ones, you're going to find that one fits better than another, and it's just going to feel more natural. Okay. You also have the length of the slide. So you can see here we've got some different lengths, and that's going to have a lot to do with personal preference as well. For the most part, when we're playing, we are only hitting one note, two notes, maybe three notes at a time, unless you're doing some sort of open tuning where you're playing all the strings. But that's a little bit more rare. So you don't necessarily have to go across all the strings. In fact, I have another slide that's about the size of a big ring that's made so that you can play guitar, and then if you need a couple of little licks, you can use that ring and just play right through it, but you're not affected in any other way. You can just actually play with it, play an entire song with that one little slide. Okay, so as far as length, you don't have to get anything that's too long, because you're really just not going to use that. And in fact, it's a little bit of a liability because you're going to have to keep up with it for more muting, like we mentioned in the right and left hand technique videos. What else? Yeah, you don't want them too tight. You want it to be able to go past this knuckle, your second knuckle. This one still fits a little bit snug for me, but I just love the way it feels. It's a super light slide, so the weight has much to do with it. I think my favorite sounding slide is this one, and I bought this at a NAMM show, but this particular slide is it's very heavy, so the tone from it has a lot more sustain than, say, the glass slide, but it's very, very heavy. So like if I'm doing a slide, I can really feel that slide. I'm sorry, if I'm doing vibrato, I can really feel the slide on there, the weight of it, and it makes it a little more cumbersome. Okay, the glass slide has a brighter sound, but it doesn't sustain as much. So you'll find that on the acoustic or the electric, one slide might sound better than another. So make sure when you're trying your slides out, you're using the guitar that you want, and try them out for all different sizes, different feels, weights, and all that. It's really going to matter how it feels best to you. But just make sure you don't have something that's too tight or too loose, and get a flavor that works for you. There are very expensive slides. I've seen them upwards of $100. You don't necessarily have to do that. It's not going to make you a better slide player. Get something that's comfortable. There's slides out there for $10, $20 that will be totally suitable, especially for a beginner. All right, let's keep going.